Welcome online guys, TomoGotchi here, and today I've got a brand new video that is fresh in my mind because I'm going to be talking about some events that happened today. It's a video idea that I came up with today. I'm recording this video today, and this video is going to be uploaded, well, probably tomorrow because it is late in the day, but still, I'm going to try and get this out today, and if not, it will be tomorrow. And it's just a video that I decided to make because why not? So this video is more of a review of my experience with this, which is the Lego Minifigure Factory experience, where all that you see here, except of course my sig fig that is right there, is part of that system. So all of these pieces I got from that. Also, because I was at the Lego shop, because all of this was at the Lego shop, I also got this Minecraft build. Well, it's not really a build, it's more of a crafting box. But I got that, and I decided, you know what? Let's also get this as well, because truth be told, I've never actually used this system before, and I'm gonna explain a lot of context here. Before the pandemic happened, they had this minifigure wall, well, not wall, stand. My memory's going. Ugh. But they had this minifig stand where you could basically pick each individual part of a minifig that you can basically build your own minifig. And so I use that relatively to get new pieces, whether it's just new hair pieces, more faces, more torsos and legs, so I can make my own custom minifig people. And it was also a way for me to get certain elements, more specifically animals and some other minifig accessories that I could potentially use. It would also be a way to get certain commodities, like the money tiles, for instance, or just like little tiles with prints. One of them I actually did get a letter, like a post letter. So I would use that as a way to get all of that. But when the pandemic hit, they took that down because, of course, they didn't want people like touching all of these little pieces, so they had to be a little bit more hygienic. Although granted, I think this was in development before that, but it ironically came up during the pandemic as sort of a new way to sort of mitigate that. So it was always there. It's been there for at least 2 years, and this is the very first time I've ever used the system, and so that's what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to start by talking about all of the individual pieces. First things first, the very first thing that I had to set up is, of course, this 1x3 brick, which happens, and I'm hoping the camera focuses here. By the way, I'm also using a new stand and frame for the camera, and it's also got an LED light. You can't see it right now, but I'm using that. So this 1x3 brick is the very first thing that you customize, and it's basically a way to get your name on it, and it actually serves two purposes. One, to print the name on the brick, and also there's like a display. There's like a display showing all of the people that are making minifigs, so it's kind of like a queue, so you would know if yours is being printed at that moment. So that's one thing. So I'm going to talk about the main attraction. First of all, they were giving out these for free. They don't usually, but it's just like they had a whole bunch of them. So you get that just for free as a little fun extra. And whatever, it's an extra piece. So I'm actually going to give it to myself. Just do that. If I can just put it here. There we go. So I've got ice cream now. Yay. Okay, yay. So let's talk about this minifig. All the other pieces are standard. You get your hair piece, you get to pick a face, and this face in particular. I mean, I do this with all of the build your own minifig parts. Because honestly, a lot of these parts are not going to stay on this minifig for very long. So I have this hair piece, which kind of reminded me of Clover from Totally Spies, so I got that. This face is actually double-sided, so there's that, and I can actually use that for more custom stuff. I've got the shorts, and they also give out accessories. Originally, as far as memory serves me, let me just put that there. As far as memory serves me, these would count as one individual accessory. So back then I could only choose one or the other, but they were giving out a minifig element and also an animal. So of course I chose the chameleon because I don't actually have many of these, but they were also giving out spiders. Is it going to focus? They also had cats, dogs, scorpions and the like. So that's the chameleon. I don't know. This camera's not being... Come on, focus. This I just chose because it's coral. And I thought it looked neat. I think I do have this in yellow because it's from the Batman minifig series. But I just thought that was really cool. And I had a lot of the other parts. They had guitars, laptops, books. Just something for your minifigure to hold, essentially. So, anyway, that's the minifig itself. I'm going to put her hair back on for now. And these individual parts are going to be used for something entirely. So these will probably be on different minifigs. So, let's talk about the main thing that you're buying in this set. In fact, I think I have the receipt right here. Give me a second. No, that's not it. Is it here? Sorry, I'm getting out my Lego. It's okay. Oh yeah, and I got an extra minifig, which unfortunately was another alien. I actually got that for free because it was a peel and reveal card that didn't cost a whole lot. It was free, but I have way too many of these. Way too many of these. And normally I give them to my nephew, any spares, and even then I've got too much, so I'm just going to put them aside there. I have way too many. Not a lot of uses for them. But anyway, the crafting box was actually on sale, but the minifigure factory was $10.99, so I'm going to put this Lego bag away. So anyway, let's talk about the main attraction here, and that is the torso, because it does seem like a lot. It does seem a bit pricey for just one minifigure to be £10, but what you're actually getting is the torso. Now, it's just a regular white torso ordinarily, but you can actually paint your own little designs on it. So, if you're wondering what that is a reference to, I'm going to tell you. It is actually a reference to this. This is my favourite TV show of all time. It's very obscure, so not a lot of people are familiar with it. And it's just something that I like a lot. And this is just one of the badges that came free with one of the VHSs, which was actually really difficult to find. So I'm going to put that there for reference. So, if I was ever going to customize my own minifig, I decided, well, hang on a minute. Why don't I make one Insectors based? Now, as you can see, I can tell you right now, in fact, I've got a pen here. Give me a second. I've got a pen here to show you point to all the finer details. So, the way it works is, first of all, you do, in fact, write your name on a 1x3 brick, which is great, because I like having that. And then you get to make your own torso. So, for starters, you have your own little, not sketches, but it's like the standard Lego designs for most of the shirts are one layer, and then the painted applications are another layer. You can also have stickers on there, which is very limiting, and we'll get to that in a minute, which is another layer. And then text, which of course I've used for all of this, is another layer. Now, I'm going to admit right now I'm very spoiled. So when it came to designing my own minifigure, there was a lot of tools that I'm so used to in so many other applications. Even MS Paint had like line tools and shapes and gradients and the like. But it's very limiting. But you can get the basic properties down. I actually have another figure that I might as well show you, which is kind of relevant to today's video. Hang on, I think I just that'll do. So this right here, I'm actually going to show her off in another video, but this is essentially supposed to be this butterfly character right here. Her name is Alex, also known as Alia in the original French. So that's who this minifigure is supposed to be. It's a close approximation, but just to give an example here, obviously there's all this detailing, but if you want to make a female figure, they do have the designs for the hourglass shape, and of course the definitions for the chest area. So you can get stuff like that, and it's not just like normal t-shirts. So this is a pretty standard Lego t-shirt design that they have been using that you can implement. There's also like sweater designs and different sorts of torso designs that you can choose from as the regular base, and then you can choose then you can actually choose the color of it, which I chose blue for mine. Right, so now I'm going to review my experience getting this logo in particular. As you can see, it's a really rough approximation, not just because of its size, but because of the tools I was using in particular. So what I basically did, the middle circle where the K is, that is not, they don't have a shape tool. That's basically the letter O just layered on top of one another in order to give that very unique shape. I tried my very best to get this like shape down, but even then it's very rough and tumble. I did my absolute best. I actually spent like an hour designing this torso in general, and with very mixed results. And it's again, using the tools that I had available, it was very rough. And looking at this, I think the two sides of the word with it's like insect and then tours might actually be a little bit off. And sorry, I'm not centering this correctly because, oh, come on, just focus. And I tried to do my best for an outline for the main shape, and that was not easy. I actually had to use the eraser tool to sort of get this like angle, kind of like give a sharp end to the corners here. And yeah, even for just like this, it took me an hour. And then because I was spending so much time, I actually wasn't originally going to do all of like these little details with the grass and the flowers. Actually, I don't know if you can see it, and I can't see it for certain. So are you going to focus, you stupid camera? You gonna... No. Right. So I had like a light green as like the main base go over it like that. And I also had a darker green to represent grass and stems, which was really difficult to do already. And I don't think it actually came up on the torso as much. So I don't even know if you can see that, but I don't blame you if you don't. I tried my absolute best to get those little details, but I was even warned in shop, it's like they won't come up as much, which is a good thing in some areas, because there's like 3 little dots here that are supposed to represent these 2 characters and another character, just as a little extra detail. I spent an hour on this, and then I kind of did a rough and tumble on the back, because you can do the front as well as the back. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time on this one, and you can tell. Basically, if you don't know, this is supposed to represent the dark side. Crud City where no one ever sleeps. So it's got a murky sky. That's supposed to be water, like the really murky water. And then there's some bushes in the foreground, and that's the main tree stump. Whereas, of course, the Flower City with the main temple right here. I didn't spend a lot of time on this because I really didn't want to, but I just put it as a little extra design. You know, just for lols. Just have one end, the light side, and the bad guys on the back. So, took an hour, and to be fair, the people who were watching me do it were very helpful. They tried to give me ideas on how I could do it, as well as the limitations of the machine. And I'll admit, like I said, I'm spoiled. I'm used to like using programs like even like MS Paint, but I've also used Flash MX. I haven't used Photoshop, but I've used other Photoshop-esque applications, and I am spoiled because I just use them on a regular basis. So when I use something like this and they don't have all of those basic tools, for me personally, it is very, very noticeable. I'm actually going to have that over here, just to center that out. So it's really noticeable when that happens. But however, and I will say, this took me an hour, and there were actually kids like right next to me. In fact, I'll actually demonstrate for you. So imagine this is the machine itself. I was like this, and I was doing my thing. And then there were also a bunch of kids right next to me here that were doing their own thing. And I think actually 3 people were using this machine before I decided to finish off. So that was my position. And then, of course, let's pretend this is a Lego employee just coming up to me and saying, hey, you know, this is that, and you can do this if you want. Oh, you're doing that? I don't know what Insectors is. So that's basically what happened in shop. But yeah, the kids, my point is, the kids were having a lot of fun. The tools are very basic. They also come with like stickers of like standard things. So there's like print designs for bricks. There was also one for pockets. They were also doing a thing where there was a lot of rainbow stickers that you could implement to sort of celebrate how, you know, we're all different, and we're all of different ethnicities and that kind and genders and that kind of thing. So they had that to sort of celebrate. So there was plenty of those kinds of stickers. There was also stickers for Christmas, even though Christmas is well actually coming in a few months, but they have stuff for that and those kind of special occasions, which I didn't use because, let's face it, I'm an artist and I like making custom stuff. And so if I had to make one, I am actually going to use this torso, not on this figure, not even on my sig fig actually, but just as I just want a person in my town that I guess you could say is a fan of Insectors, just like a little Easter egg in the background, just to kind of show off. It's like, yes, Insectors, that's the thing, isn't it? Because I've seen loads of these kind of torsos, specifically for Lego brands. So there are people wearing Ninjago shirts. There's one figure that actually references Fabuland, which is actually quite cool. I like little Easter eggs like that, so I just wanted my own Easter egg, and that's why this minifigure is wearing a t-shirt. I would actually like this t-shirt, like in real life, if they ever made one like this. But unfortunately, this is also one of those TV shows that wasn't as popular. It never got a 3rd season, which peeves me off to no end because I love that show. And it's one of those shows that ends not quite on a cliffhanger, but does imply that there's supposed to be more to the story. So I would have liked to have seen a 3rd season, but whatever. So if I can harken back, and especially since I have, and I'm actually looking at my other Lego shelf at the moment, so I'm just going to pluck some minifigures real quick just to kind of show you, because I'm actually going to make another video dedicated to just these minifigures in particular, but my layout is entirely based on insect people, so I want at least one minifigure that does give a reference to Insectors, which is basically the main inspiration behind this idea, because I want to make my own Lego city and make my own minifigures and have my own like little stories involving these characters. So that's why it's important to me to have this kind of reference, because I go online a lot, especially during the pandemic, where I'm just buying up a lot of pieces, particularly these wing pieces, which are actually from the Minifigure Collectibles miniseries DC Bumblebee, which I've got a lot of, and they actually look really nice on my sig fig. So it's nice to have at least one. I will use each individual part for each individual figure in some capacity, but where I use this torso, I can use this for basically anything. In fact, you know what? For LOLs, something I'm going to do live. Sitting on the floor here, got all little bits. So I'm going to try and do this live. Oh no, I'm dismembering a minifigure. So, yeah. By the way, another thing I want to mention. This is custom. This torso is custom. It uses paint for the stripe. But if I ever made another one of these, I'm not going to go all out and just make a design like this. I think I'm just going to pick one up, have it in the blue color, and just do the stripe. It'll just be easier and it'll probably look a lot nicer. The only thing is it doesn't have side printing, so I can't color the sides. So it's all going to be white, so I should mention that. You can take the arms off. I'm not going to, but you can take them off. So if I wanted to wear this shirt and have blue sleeves, I could do that. But anyway, enough talk. Let's do this live. Let's take all of this apart. Come on. There we go. So I'm gonna want to put my wings on, because I myself am an insectorian in my world, and I'll even give myself an ice cream. So there we go. There's my sig fig wearing an Insector shirt, and it looks really, really nice. Even at the back, you can still sort of see the Crud City at the back. So yeah. So I kind of upgraded. I'm still going to use the blue torso because that's kind of a signature of mine. But that's just one way to use this kind of torso if you really want to do something creative. And yeah, a lot of kids use this and do really simple designs. But I've been told by the Lego staff at the Lego shop that a lot of people have done some really interesting things with this system. Most particularly in the football fandom. I'm actually just going to put these here, and I'll put my shirt back on eventually. You know what? You can wear my shirt for now if you want. Why not? But they were saying like a lot of football fans have used like the Liverpool Football Club branding on the front, use like red, and try to support their teams, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of flexibility. Again, I'm very spoiled when it comes to the kind of software I use, where there's a lot of options. If there's absolutely one thing that I could ask Lego to add and implement into their machine, just one thing, and there's a lot of things that they could potentially do to make it better, but if there's one thing, and one thing only, that I could recommend to Lego, and please add a line tool. That is the only thing, because if they had a line tool, then a lot of this could have easily been done. Hang on, I don't have my pen anymore. Oh, here's a pencil. A lot of... Oh, sorry, again. Camera. Are you going to focus? Come on, focus. Come on. Anyway, all of this would be really easy to do. Like, not necessarily the sharp edges here, but just like the straightness of the logo itself. And even as a way to just like measure how big it would be. That's ultimately what I want. That's the only thing that I want. And there is so much people will be able to do if they have the line tool. And speaking as an autistic person myself, it would help a lot just to have something that gets that accurate straight, instead of me just carefully and meticulously trying to get that shape and trying to make it consistent by hand. My Kingdom for a stylus pen was also pretty synonymous at that point, which, to be fair, the Lego staff did actually give that to me. Am I gonna hold this ice cream or not? Come on. You know what, I've had enough ice cream, so this woman gets to have her ice cream cone. Come on, there you go, she gets to have it. Haha. So that's basically my whole experience. It's definitely something I might try again. Not too soon, and definitely not this intricate now that I know how the system works. And I totally recommend you do it. Again, it's $10.99, and I should also mention I am not sponsored by Lego in literally any way. Actually, that gives me an idea. I'm not sponsored by Lego to say any of this, by the way. It's just my overall experience. But I will be using this again for custom stuff. Here's another custom minifigure that I think I've showed in the past, and I don't know. This is my version of Rebecca Perham, and you can obviously where I've painted all of these little details. But with something like this, it would actually be a lot easier to do, just for the simpler details. But if you want to go all out and be creative, that's what the system is there for, and I like it. I like it very, very much. I don't think you can sell them on stuff like Bricklink because it is considered a custom, and especially if you're going to do what I did here and do licensed properties, which they don't restrict you on doing, by the way. If you want to do well, basically anything, you can. I did Insectors, obviously. If you want to do Digimon, if you want to do a Digimon branded shirt, you can do it. It will take a while, but you can do that. They obviously support football clubs and doing people that are supportive of those teams. You can do that. So that's about it. That's about all I have to say about this system. Oh, one last thing. This is the box it comes with. It actually does come with a chip that allows you to access. So when you buy this, they give you the box to start off with. It's got a little chip inside that allows you to use the system, and you're good to go. But it's also a box to keep this minifigure in. I don't think I'm going to use this as a display for the figure. But it is just a little box where you just, you make your figure and then you just pop it in there to keep it all safe. I'll keep the box for curiosity's sake, but it's not something I'm going to have on my layout. So that's it. Nothing else I need to say. So let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me for sure if you're a fan of this show, because I don't know a lot of people who are, and that's why this little reference is so obscure. But whatever. It's a fun little experience, and I'm happy. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for watching. And as always, this is TomoGotchi signing out. Click, click.